Mountain God needs no donations, only worship please. Chapter 26. Fan fiction by Azazyel. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel for listening and patreon.com/Azazyel to read all of his stories. Seeing the forms of the dwarves I created in an uneven split between having a few more females than men groggily come to their feet and look around blankly, I realized that dwarves, even if they had a teenager's body, had a mind only with the bare software in it, as Tiamat's blessing didn't allow them to all but sprout a new personality instantly. My dwarves, look to me. I spoke as I gently lifted all the dwarves to look at me. You are all my precious firstborn children. I have gifted you your life and free will. I do not demand your obedience, only the love a son or daughter has for their father to be given to me. I spoke grandly with my words, reaching the newly born souls of the dwarfs, and I saw how their eyes changed as they once looked so blankly upon me to become something warmer as they felt the own care I had for them. Granted, I certainly didn't love them unconditionally like most parents would. But I did care for them in my own way and would kill anyone and anything that threatened them without mercy, as they were wholly mine. My dwarves, remember this in your hearts of stone. I am the mountain god Moria, and the stone that makes your very bones is the same stone that makes up my very mountain. After I was done with the minor propaganda and brainwashing, I left them briefly to teleport to Old Hell in order to pick up their babysitter that will integrate them into Old Hell and the underground life. Hashigumo Yugi, I call upon you. I said dramatically as a large spotlight spawned and was beaming upon the large-breasted Oni, who was nakedly swimming in the Sake River next to the house she had built and having claimed a large part of the Sake River itself. Wait. Let me get some clothes on myself first, damn it. The drunk Oni cursed, rapidly gaining back her sobriety as she began floating upwards under my control before with an ear-popping thunder noise she was teleported from midair into my throne room. You need not worry about your nakedness offending me. For the sake that flows beneath our feet is my very blood, so I have seen and felt every inch of your body as well as experienced every part of your insides as you swallowed my blood. I said dully, and even the blunt Oni couldn't help but blush at my deadpan tone. Anyway, I have an important task for you and some Onis that have some experience in raising children. I have created a new race, and with them being a mostly subterranean race, I want the Oni tribe who has been drinking, fucking and showering in my very blood to take these charges in. I explained, and Yugi's face twitched at my demands. Bossman, you mind if I call you Bossman? She went on, and I coughed loudly, making her choke as all air in her surroundings became a void before I returned it to normal. I am your people's god. If you will not refer to me with respect as Lord Moria, then you will at least simply call me Moria, and should you use another name I will punish you. Maybe to start with I will make your taste buds violently adverse to anything with alcoholic content. I threatened, and the large-breasted blonde Oni did a fucking dive to the floor as she literally cracked the marble flooring with her large red horn as she bowed in such haste. No, Lord Moria. Anything but the booze. Alright, we will take your brats, alright. Just have mercy for this poor Oni. She begged, and I sighed. Very well, I shall afford you clemency this time, but make sure the people watching over my dwarves are a responsible sort. I have no problem with them becoming alcoholics like Onis, but they need to have some common sense. I ordered, with Yugi nodding quickly as she leaned back up with her large bare breasts lightly slapping her chest as gravity brought them back down. I will send you back to your home. My dwarves will be arriving in 10 minutes, so hurry up and prepare for their arrival in the middle of the Oni town. After a moment of thought, I continued. Also, do not think of this as a mere chore. I will compensate your people for their time, do not worry, I ordered, with Yugi bowing in understanding and happiness at whatever I could offer would be great, obviously. May I ask what you could give to my people, Lord Moria? She asked curiously as she stood up, seemingly uncaring about her nudity, which wasn't unusual with how shameless Onis typically were. I shrugged, blandly replying. I don't know any miracle, in particular, you people want. I can give you a rice bowl that will feed 100 people easily, or something more interesting. I don't know what the Onis need or even want with them having unlimited booze at this point. Even Yugi looked introspective of the options I offered, and for good reason, as the reason Onis were so rambunctious was because they wanted to fight to steal each other's or other people's booze, food, and stuff to sell to get the food/booze. She seemed to just realize that half of her people's equation to a happy life had already been filled out, so she didn't know what to even ask for. Lord Moria, may I ask for something for Onis to fight, or just generally some kind of entertainment? I mean, the Sake rivers are literally the best thing to happen in the Gensokyo period, but we would like something to do after we, as you put it. Fuck, shower, and most importantly drink the sake within your rivers. Yugi asked, making me hum in thought. I have plans to bring entertainment for all of Gensokyo to enjoy, so I will send you along for now. But know that your request for such things is already in the works. I said, and Yugi was consumed in a flash of blue light as I teleported her naked self back into her own home, inside her own bedroom, with her drawers loudly opening to unsubtle tell her to get her ass in gear to get ready for my dwarves. Was having the Onis be responsible for your dwarves wise? Ran asked me as she came out with Sakuya from behind my throne. Considering my options were the irresponsible Kappa who is obsessed with making a working nuke to send at America for nuking their population in the real world during the 40s. Or the weird Satora sisters who I have no connection with. Yeah, I took the only option I had, as I cannot babysit them with all the people flying around my mountain now with the barrier being dropped. I said, mentally tired of having to throw rocks at yokai and other beings who decided to test my simple rules of not stealing my gold brick road or trying to fly into the town I had created for the humans' children. Speaking of those human children, I am not a fucking daycare. I then turned to Sakuya, who flinched lightly at the frown on my face. Sakuya, I have been run around by like a dozen people at this damned point. Go to the human village and get the elders and parents to come pick up the children my champion saved, and if you can have them prepare to live here for a couple of days so they will fall in love with the easy life they can have with modern plumbing, do so. Yes, Lord Moria. She said, and before she left, I had another thought. Wait a moment. Actually, I have one more chore. I want you to bring back my champion hero who has been baby-trapped by some girls in the human village. Bring him back, especially with the ladies he has impregnated, as they bear my legacy and power. As Sakuya bowed with her hand against her maid uniform-clad chest, I added one final detail. Should he resist, tell him, for one, I am fully capable of teleporting my axe back, and you are fully in your right to cut off his limbs to drag him back. Left unsaid, and she knew all too well that such injuries could easily be fixed, but just that I was willing to go so far and play hardball with my champion showed I was done waiting for the stray to come home. As Sakuya stopped time around her and I felt her go through my range of consciousness in an instant, I looked over to Ran. Ran, what are you to me now? I have Tenma and Yugi being a priestess basically, but other than you wanting to mend the bridges between me and Yukari, I don't really know what to think of you. I said, as honestly, I was already considering her a bit of a friend and an advisor with her very valuable knowledge of the world outside of Gensokyo. Well, I suppose after our little time drinking together with Yuko Seiji and your mother broke more bones than I thought I ever had, and I showed my loyalty and kindness even after the fact, would make me at least a sort of trusted friend. She offered, and I agreed to her thought process with a nod. Fair enough. Speaking of that nice get-together, I still have this. I said, as the sake barrel made out of divine materials and sapphire that with a single cup of its divine alcohol made me so fucking drunk I thought that making all the cursed rivers of the underworld into sake was a swell idea was teleported into my lap. Ran shuddered at the sight of the noble phantasm I copied and smiled wryly. Yeah. Next time, should we drink of that blend, be aware that Yuko has sworn to steal it away. I simply huffed with a chuckle as I settled into my throne before I smiled. Actually, why don't you go invite her for dinner tonight? I am going to reconvene with Tenma and decide what blessing I should give her as my priestess. I said with the kitsune nodding happily. Looking forward to the little get-together coming. Ran then left my throne room as I myself teleported towards where Tenma was talking to a group of Tengu to assign them their patrol routes along my mountain.